Whether you're an entrepreneur running their own small business or a marketing director working within a large company, your website is the foundation of your company's entire online marketing strategy. That's why it's super critical to pick the right platform when building a new or redesigned website. In today's video, I'll be giving you my top 5 reasons why Webflow is that platform and the major marketing advantages your company stands to gain if it does in fact choose this platform. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Bailey Canning. I'm an independent marketing strategist based in Boulder, Colorado, working with service-based businesses across the US to help them design and develop awesome websites, and then working with them on an ongoing basis across various digital marketing channels so they can generate more leads, sign their ideal clients, and ultimately grow revenues. As you're watching this video, if you get any sort of value out of it, I'd really appreciate if you could like and or subscribe to my channel. And now that housekeeping out of the way, let's just get right into the video. Before we dive into the 5 reasons why I believe Webflow is the best tool to use when it comes to building your company's website today, I first want to give you a brief background on my experience building websites and how I ultimately came to believe that Webflow is in fact the best platform, because that was not always the case. I've started building websites roughly about 5 years ago. I got an internship during college at a digital marketing agency that was very small and startup based, where I was fortunate enough that they gave me an opportunity to work on real life client websites. And then I eventually landed the job later on as their lead web developer in that role. So I spent about 2 years at that agency working primarily in WordPress, building custom WordPress websites. And while there is a lot to be said about WordPress, about how customizable it is and how flexible it is and the open source nature of the platform, ultimately, if I'm being honest, there were lots of things that were not good about it. And while I knew about Webflow this entire time, thanks in large part to watching the videos made by Ron Segal over at Flux Academy, it wasn't until about 2 or 3 years ago that I really started committing to learning Webflow in depth. And now in the work I'm doing for my clients, I only use Webflow exclusively to build websites and would not take on any WordPress projects at all. This is because if I were to take on a WordPress project, ultimately, I believe I would not be able to deliver the same results to my clients as I can with Webflow. And due to the nature of actually going in and building a WordPress website, it would take me longer, and I would ultimately have to charge the client more money for this process. So I just did not feel comfortable anymore taking a longer time to deliver the project, charging more money, and then ultimately delivering an inferior project. So at this point, I am Webflow exclusive. Now, I don't want to disparage WordPress. Originally, when I was actually brainstorming this video, it was going to be a WordPress versus Webflow video. But honestly, WordPress is totally fine. If you're not going to use Webflow, I would recommend WordPress. It's certainly a lot better than Squarespace or Wix. But I just don't want to disparage anybody. If they prefer WordPress, if they prefer working in that development ecosystem, that's totally fine. I don't think it's as good as Webflow, but who am I to say? It's just my opinion. Ultimately, I think we need a lot more positivity on the internet. And also, there's really nothing I can say on the topic in comparing the two platforms that really hasn't been said too much already. So with that spiel out of the way, let's just get right into the reasons why I think Webflow is the best website building platform today. First, I want to start off with the client experience that Webflow offers my clients. I think this is a very fitting place to start because obviously all the work I am doing is for my clients so that they can ultimately achieve their business, marketing, and sales goals. Types of clients I primarily work with are either going to be marketing directors of companies with 10 plus employees or entrepreneurs running their own business. They might be a solopreneur. They might have a few employees, but if they're an entrepreneur, they're probably going to want the ability to make basic updates to their website and add content if they need to. And if they're a marketing director, then they're definitely going to need to be able to onboard other team members onto their site. And they're probably going to be producing a lot of content on that website as well. So given these two things, it's very important that my client can go into the website and add content. Now, I do offer my clients a website management plan where I'll do that for them as well. But if they have an in-house marketing team or they're just a scrappy entrepreneur that wants to handle it, it's totally fine. But I do believe that it's very important for them to be able to go into their website and be able to add content such as blog posts, videos, podcasts, etc. And I also think they should be able to easily pop in to the site, edit basic text if they want to, edit some images. And we're not talking about huge changes that would require actual development knowledge, but I'm talking about basic content updates. Ultimately, I think it's super important that clients do have the ability to edit their website because there are many developers, many agencies I know of that will essentially either custom code a website or just not tell their clients how they can actually edit the website. And not only do I think that is wrong, but ultimately to get the most marketing effectiveness out of their website, especially if they're not going to be retaining me for any marketing work, they need to be able to go in and edit the website and to treat the website as some sort of black box where the client can edit content or add new content, and they're ultimately forced to pay someone every time they want to make the most basic site updates, I think is very wrong and not a good business practice. Webflow offers an incredible client experience that is completely unmatched by any other builder out there. The CMS and client editor experience is super simple. I always tell my clients, if you can edit a Word doc, you can edit the website, because oftentimes they are concerned with how are we actually going to be able to edit the website once it's live. And when I actually go to show them how to edit the website, whether it's in person or over a video call, they're always very surprised by how easy it looks right off the bat. And selfishly, this actually makes my life a lot easier, because with WordPress, for example, the only way to edit the content would be to load the page builder, whether you're using Elements or something like Oxygen or Bricks. And while the client could point and click and get into the text and make updates like that, or change out the photos, just like in Webflow, they would have the ability to break the website technically, because they're in this development interface, whereas Webflow has a separate development and client editor type experience. So long story short, my clients are able to make any of the basic content edits they would want to or need to make, but they at the same time cannot potentially break their website, causing it to go down and calling me at 3 a.m. Also, the user interface Webflow has is very well designed. It looks very sleek, very modern, and it makes my clients feel like they have a high-end website, which is exactly what I'm trying to provide them. So truly, the client experience using Webflow is great. All my clients love it. All of them are super impressed. And at the end of every project, I actually go in and record training videos showing them how to make all the content updates they would ever need to make. And so this way, they actually have a website video user manual, which has been super helpful and really made it a lot easier for them to edit their website if they want to do that. So now let's talk about the actual project experience working in Webflow. If you want to start a new Webflow project, you literally just click Start Project, and then you can jump right in and start designing and developing the website. It's super fast, super quick and easy. It's very modern. It's a great experience. Contrast that with something like WordPress. And like I said, I don't want to make this a direct comparison video, but one, WordPress is the most commonly used website builder today. I believe it powers roughly around 45 to 50% of the internet. And also, if you're watching this video and you're considering building a new or redesigned website, you're most likely either coming from WordPress or considering using either Webflow or WordPress. So I do think there are many practical purposes to using it as a comparison. And if you were to go in and build a website with WordPress, as I've done probably over 30 times in my career, you would discover that there's probably about 1 to 2 hours worth of admin work that you need to do before you can get to that phase in Webflow where you're just building a website automatically. I'm talking about doing things like adding in plugins for various different aspects of your website and going into the backend and updating a bunch of different settings and things like that you're going to have to do. That is already built into the box with Webflow, so you can get started right away. Now, if you're an entrepreneur or marketing director and you're hiring someone to build a website, you might not care about that. But if you're going to be on a deadline or you're just trying to get this project done, then obviously it's beneficial if the agency or person you hire to build a website has a tool that allows them to work faster. Now, I actually want to spend some time talking about the actual websites that you're able to produce in the 2 different platforms. So with Webflow, first of all, Webflow is not like other page builders like Elementor, for example, where I would say something like Elementor, which is the most popular page builder in WordPress, is essentially building a website on Rails, meaning you don't have the ability to customize every single aspect of the website. Rather, you're limited to a lot of predefined layouts and predefined templates and design elements that give you certain amounts of customizations, but only the customization that Elementor will allow for. There are other page builders out there like Bricks, like Oxygen, that are trying to emulate that Webflow-like experience where you actually need to have developing knowledge and you actually need to know how to build things correctly and technically on the web. You can think like CSS and the box model and even some JavaScript here and there. But the major advantage to using Webflow is that you're able to design and develop anything possible on the web. Another huge benefit of Webflow, which I have not found in any other development platform to date, is the fact that you're able to visually code super cool interactive effects and animations that without Webflow would require a ton of knowledge about JavaScript and take you a long time to hand code. Whereas with Webflow, there's a very simple to use visual design tool right in the platform that allows you to add really cool effects to your website that are going to add a huge premium design element to it, which is super critical for the types of clients I'm working with who are primarily high-end professional service providers. And this is just an easy way to communicate to prospective clients visiting the website that our website features high-end design because we offer high-end service to our clients as well. Real quick, if you're finding this video helpful and you'd like to pick my brain on a website project your company is considering, there's a link in the video description to book a strategy call with me. You can literally book it directly on my calendar. Just want to let you know, more details will come at the end of this video if you're curious about what is going to be involved in that strategy discussion. Another huge advantage of using a tool like Webflow is the fact that the websites that you build with Webflow load super quickly right out of the box with very little optimization needed from a developer. This is partly because one, the builder outputs super clean HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code that literally looks like a person actually wrote it. However, with Webflow, it has a whole visual interface that allows you to code visually, saving you a lot of time. This is very important because for user experience, there's a lot of studies out there showing that if a website takes 5 seconds or longer to load, for every additional second it takes to load, about 1/3 of users drop off sequentially. And also when it comes to SEO these days, Google is more and more prioritizing a fast website as a key SEO ranking factor. So even if you have a great website with tons of content and tons of SEO potential, that same website, if it loads slower compared to the same website built on Webflow, is just not going to have the same amount of SEO potential, all things being equal. And then also, if you're doing a lot of digital advertising, how fast your website loads after it's clicked on an ad from either Google, Facebook, or YouTube is critically important to be able to get conversions as well. So essentially, in every aspect of how you're going to be leveraging the website as an online marketing tool, the speed has a direct impact on how effective it's going to be. And another reason why Webflow is able to produce super fast websites right out of the box is that it has a native hosting integration with Amazon Web Services, or AWS, which is probably the best website hosting provider out there. The biggest companies in the world use AWS. I think even Google uses AWS sometimes, even though they have their own cloud hosting platform, which just goes to show you. So yeah, with Webflow, the websites load super quickly right out of the box. The code is super clean. And all this has a direct impact on how effective your company's website is going to be able to do from a digital marketing perspective. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about here before we wrap up this video is the CMS, or Content Management System. Where Webflow really shines in this department is the fact that the CMS needs to be built out from scratch from every single project. It's super easy to do, and there's a lot of flexibility and customization involved. But the big benefit of this is that essentially, as you develop the CMS, all the settings and fields that are necessary to produce this dynamic content become completely tailored to the actual website itself. So essentially, the client gets a completely bespoke, custom-tailored CMS solution. If I were to create a blog for my client on WordPress in the same type of dynamic content setting using the CMS, yes, there would be all the same settings available. Ultimately, there would also be a lot of settings that they would never even touch or need to use. And the whole UI would be a little bit of a mess, quite frankly, and more confusing to my client than is necessary. Whereas with Webflow, everything gets custom built out from scratch. One of the best examples I can think of off the top of my head is the work I did for one of my clients here in Boulder. They're a local rock climbing company. And we essentially built out custom course sign-up pages. So essentially, all my client needs to do if they want to add more courses is they need to fill out a form that was custom made with custom form fields that I developed. And from there, they're able to add new courses. We also added venues, for example, where they're able to add different types of venues where they take their clients rock climbing around Colorado and beyond. And the form setup there of all the different collection fields in Webflow is completely different than the setup that's used on the course pages. So the CMS options are completely tailored to that project and to the content that's going to be produced, versus hacking it all together in WordPress, where it's really not a great experience, but it also at the same time gets the job done. All right, so those are my top 5 reasons for absolutely loving using Webflow to build websites for my clients. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. My 2 websites, both for my company and for my personal brand, are built with Webflow. It's the only platform I would use going forward. And while I don't want to disparage WordPress, like I said at the start of this video, I just do think Webflow is the best platform. But again, that's just my humble opinion. I hope you got some value out of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. There were a bunch of technical features I could have gone into that really matter to designers and developers, but I really wanted to angle all the benefits of Webflow in this video to the end clients that I'm primarily working with. Like I said, entrepreneurs, marketing directors, etc. Because while it's super cool to talk about all the different types of, technical things you can accomplish with Webflow and different website builders, at the end of the day, the website is simply just a digital marketing tool that's going to increase leads and increase sales. And I think that is the lens that you should be looking at when evaluating different website and CMS platforms. What is going to be able to produce the best business results for my company today and over the long run? It's really very simple. I think Webflow kills it in that regard, and that's why I'm using it for all my client projects going forward. All right, hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, definitely like and subscribe, because I'm going to be producing a new video every week talking about some topic related to digital marketing. And if you are in the market for redesigning or building a new website from scratch, definitely book a strategy call with me. Link in the description. It's a very chill, very friendly intro conversation. I'll take the time to learn about your business, learn about your industry, and help you map out a custom website and online marketing game plan so that your company can ultimately achieve its goals. Link in the description. You can literally just book time directly on my calendar. And if you're not a good fit, or if I'm not a good fit to help you out, then I will gladly refer you to someone in my network. So quite honestly, I would argue you have nothing to lose, but a lot to gain. So again, link in the description. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.